Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Dragon's Lair Comics and Collectibles, and today's going to be actually a CD edition, I guess you can say. It's mostly CDs, a few stickers, stuff like that. If you don't know, I am, huge into music. I don't play music. I wish I did. I played drums at one time for like 13 years on a church worship team, but working in a factory, I can't even hold drumsticks anymore. I can't even barely hold an ink pen. But anyways, I got tons of CDs and stuff like that. I'm a big CD collector. I don't have room for vinyl, nor can I really afford vinyl with all the other stuff I collect too. But I got CDs that I did a couple CD videos, and most of my music is either Christian or Christian related, meaning that there are Christians in the band, but they don't say they're a Christian band, or whatever. It is what it is. I'm not gonna get upset over stuff like that, or nitpick over stuff like that. But I've got CDs that go all the way back to like last September, probably, maybe even further than that. I don't know. Some of these, I hope I didn't show them in a previous video, but if I did, you're just gonna see them again. Because I mean, I've just got stacks of them here. I haven't like put them into the collection yet. They've just been sitting on the side. Sadly, I found a couple that I haven't even opened yet, which kind of breaks my heart. I've had them since last summer. I just misplaced them, so they're gonna go into the pile to listen to here real soon. Plus, I got a couple packages I'm going to open of CDs. Some of it I don't even remember what I ordered. So, but we're going to get into this. This is the Christian, hard and heavy edition. If you like Christian music, if you don't, well then, maybe you should check it out. But a lot of this stuff was ordered right off record labels, off of bands. Some of it was actually found in like thrift stores and stuff like that. Trying to not mess this stuff up. But I think we're good to go. So we're gonna start off with this little stack here. I think, maybe. Oh man, I thought I had these in order, but I don't. But first up, we're gonna go through some CDs I ordered from the Shrone Collective. If you've never heard of the Shrone Collective, can't think of his name. His last name's like Sherry or something like that. He ran Pluto Records back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Recently, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago, started the Shrone Collective. And he just started asking bands, anything they didn't have released on CD, he wanted to release it, and he signed to newer bands and stuff like that. But I did order some stuff off him. Hopefully I don't destroy any of these names here. But the first one up we have is Eonia. I have no idea how you say that. Sorry about the glare. I am outside, so this is their album Passing. It's like a 4-song EP. Very, very cool band. I don't know the actual term they go by. It's core to me, so I just say core. A lot of people get upset if it's not hardcore. It's metalcore. It's deathcore. It's gentcore. It's whatever. I don't care. We're just gonna leave it at that. I don't really care about the labels. And we also ordered Hospital If Then. If you've never heard of Hospital, they were kind of like a rapcore sound band back in the early 2000s. Broke up, got back together, so this is actually a newer album. And we also got Collective Dust. Do people even use CDs anymore? It's more like an emo core. Cool band. Actually, I dig these guys. I'm hoping to go see them live here in August. I believe they're going to be playing up my way. I'm in North Central PA, so hopefully they get up this way. Then we also got Pipe Bomb, and this is like chaotic metalcore. If you like the Chariot or whatever, I mean, this dude just slaps, man. I believe he has another album which I haven't ordered yet. That album slaps, but everything he's put out so far has slapped, in my opinion, and it's just amazing. And then I also got this. This is in like a little sleeve. We got the Shrone Collective Orbs Volume 3. Got a bunch of bands on there. We got Heartbound, Collective Dust, Wake the Dead, Scapegoat, Queen's Council, Power Wolves, Inborn Tendency, The Undertaking, Quiotis, Declarations, Odin, Anathoth, Aaron Reynolds, Latter Day Exploits, Burial Extraction, and The Burning Paris. Which some of them bands I don't even know. I've seen him post stuff on it, but I haven't listened to them. If you don't know, I'm more of a, if I don't have it on CD, probably don't listen to it very often. You know, once in a while I get on YouTube or I'll get on Bandcamp or something like that, and I'll stream something outside when I'm outside. But I am more of a like CD collector myself. And next up, before I get into the CDs, this is only 2 CDs I ordered, but this is from People of Punk Rock Records. I believe that's what they were called. There's like a little sticker. And they're out of Canada, and they were doing some reissue stuff, and they reissued some Dogwood CDs. So I ordered them, but they sent me all these like stickers and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure all these stickers came from them. At least I hope they did. So some cool stickers if you're into punk rock. People of Punk Records, go look them up. I believe they're on Facebook. 10-foot pole. Absolutely love this like sticker. XX Smile. Like Scooby-Doo. We got Down Stater. Cool little sticker. Another 10-foot pole. Hopefully my dogs don't start barking. I got my main barkers inside if you can hear, because the landlord's up doing a roof on a trailer up here, or he was. Maybe he took a break because it's really hot out here actually. Just got Pride Bowl. We got Split Cast. I believe those were all from People of Punk Records, so shout out to People of Punk Records. But they did a nice couple of reissues. I only bought 2 of the reissues. I have most of the CDs, and I think I have both the CDs I'm showing you here. Or no, actually I have the one. I have this CD, the original version of this CD. But this is, I think this is their self-titled. Don't quote me on it. Pretty cool. I mean, it's just a digipack. I'm not big on digipacks, but you know, it is what it is. It's still pretty cool. Then we also got their Good Old Days. Now, if you've never heard Dogwood, they are just pure punk rock, and I absolutely love this band. I've always been a big Dogwood fan. Punk rock from the 90s. Go check them out. Great band, in my opinion. And we're going to get into some CDs here that I haven't spun yet. I haven't opened. So we got 3 CDs by Relentless Flood. The time is now. I have not opened this CD up yet. Which I want to say, I've seen them twice. I've seen them do an acoustic set at Uprise. I believe it was an acoustic set. And then last September, it's always in September, I go to Uprise. I've gone there for like 12 years or something like that. When they were there, I caught like 3 or 4 of their shows because there's so many, there's like 3 stages. There's a rock stage. The Rockstar stage is the main stage, which is more like, there is some rock bands there, but it's a lot more like contemporary, you know, well-known bands. They put who everybody knows on that stage, and then they have the hip-hop stage. So I kind of run them back and forth between all 3 stages, because I do listen to rap too, so I kind of, a lot of times I only catch a couple songs from certain bands, so it is what it is. I caught, I think, 3 of their songs last year. For some reason, I didn't buy the CDs the year before, but I got all 3 of them last year, and I forgot about them. I forgot about my whole stack of Uprise CDs, and I set them off to the side. There's a lot of bands don't sell CDs anymore. Most of the pity. But this is Relentless Flood Echoes. Like I said, I want to say they're like an alt-rock band. Maybe just a rock band. Very, very cool band either way. We also got Escape the Fall added to the collection. And next up we have Behold the Beloved Harsh Realities. Very, very cool rock band. They're very, very popular actually. Probably one of the more popular bands out there today. And then I also got 13 Minutes album Stay. They're a little bit heavier than a rock band. They're probably more of like a hardcore band. That was the first time I got to see them. I chatted with the vocalist for quite a bit. Oh, there's my daughter. Gonna make some noise. You don't need to bark at her. Then go with her. Don't knock my phone over. But anyways, when I was there, you know, I was going through some arm problems because my arms are messed up. The vocalist, Jared, prayed for me. He's also in a band called I Am the Pendragon, which I told him he needs to bring them out to Uprise or something like that. But they were also, hopefully my dogs don't knock that over. I also got a pair of drumsticks from 13 Minutes, which the drummer is Jamie, well, I don't say wrong, Kuzinski, which they are all actually autographed. I don't know if you can see the autographs. They autographed both sticks. It was $10 a stick, you know, to get it, and they autographed it for free. But I was like, you know, just give me 2 sticks, and you know, gotta have a pair. So that was pretty cool. 13 Minutes is an excellent band. I highly recommend, if you've never seen them or listened to them, go check their music out because they are totally worth it. Next up, and I don't think I showed this in a band, this is Hope in a video. This is Hope Deferred, Darkness Remains. Killer artwork right there, nice little skull. This is probably a lot of people's album of the year, or close to the top 5 album of the year. Heavy album, which I believe some of these guys were in Embodiment back in the late 90s. If you've never heard of Embodiment, their album like Embrace the Interior, they were like a death metal band, then changed to like more like a deathcore. It's like early deathcore. Some might even say like early metalcore, like pre-breakdown metalcore. But it was like 97, 98. Very heavy album. But these guys just kind of came back as Hope Deferred. Highly recommend these guys. So, and they also gave me a nice little sticker when I ordered the CD. I haven't seen them live. I actually ordered this, so that was pretty cool. And let's go on to next. Next we have another deathcore band. We have Unworthy from the Belly of the Beast. Which as soon as I saw this was released, I went and ordered it right away. And the main reason I went and ordered that right away is because the album they released before, I somehow missed, and they were sold out like in no time, so I missed out on that. And I got a couple of stickers from them. A little Unworthy. Very cool. Absolutely love Unworthy. I haven't seen them live yet, but I would definitely like to. And I'm probably going to mix some of these up because I've ordered so many CDs. But we got some Solid State Records CDs. I think I got these last Christmas or Black Friday. It was like Black Friday sale or something. It was like 25% off. At least I think that's where I got these. But first up we have Wolves at the Gate, and the name of the album is Wasteland. I think that's what it is. Which, a lot of these record companies, they're just going to the cardboard sleeves, which I absolutely hate, but what can you do about it? Then we also got Silent Planet, Super Bloom, if I could talk right. Which, if you don't know Silent Planet, they do not claim to be a Christian band. But the vocalist, last I knew, was a Christian. Gotta get me a drink here. Today's show is brought to you by Dr. Topper. If you like Dr. Topper. DG brand of Dr. Pepper. Dr. Topper. My wife's a store manager at DG, so it is what it is. Next up we have Fit for a King, Lonely God. Fit for a King is probably one of the biggest, I won't say the biggest band, but they're a very big band in the metalcore scene. 100% American metalcore. They have dropped the Christian title. I do believe a couple of the guys are still Christians, but, it is what it is. Next up we have The Unknown Concept again, which I don't even know if they're even around anymore. I was supposed to see them live like twice, and both times they ended up dropping out of the show. So that's kind of... If you want to check them out, go check out their song, Cover Girl. Excellent song. Excellent video, actually. Go watch the video on YouTube, Cover Girl. Which I believe that's the name of it. And then we also got, which I already had this CD, I didn't realize it, but we got Earth Groans, Prettiest of Things. So, I don't know how this CD maybe goes like that. I don't know. If you've never seen Earth Groans, they're just amazing metalcore band. Absolutely love them. And then on to, we got a couple CDs off Face Down Records. We have War of Ages Eternal. Which, is this, I think this is the one, this is the re-recorded version of their one album. Of course, Face Down Records. Mostly covers hardcore, a little bit of punk here and there, but, they've gone to the digipacks too. And we also got Confessions of a Traitor. Some bugs out here. This is, This Pain Will Serve You. Which I'm a big fan of Confessions of a Traitor. Which they are from UK, I think. Don't quote me on it. But, another killer album right here. Absolutely love it. Very cool. And I'm sure I got some of these out of order. But we got, I know I have more. I might have misplaced them. Either that or I already had these in the video. I don't know. Maybe some of these ones are in there. But these are from Rocks Records. This is Testimony of Apocalypse, Agony in the Garden. If you never heard of the Testimony of Apocalypse, they were a thrash band way back in the day called Sacrament. The first album was called Testimony of Apocalypse. They've since reformed, and now they've got I think this is their third CD. Excellent, excellent album. More in the thrash vein. And we also got Not of This World, Streets of Gold, which I believe this has Dale Thompson from Bride, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I know I spun this album and I wasn't getting into it, so I need to actually give this another spin or two, because I struggled to get into that album. Running out of room here. And we'll go to a thrift store score here. My brother might like some of these. He might remember some of them. But these all came from My Neighbor's Closet in Mansfield. It's $1 a CD, so when you find stuff like that, you pick it up. We got Smash's The Best of Guardian 1993 to 1998. Guardian was just a rock band, hair metal, kind of like hair metal band. In the 90s, they kind of moved over into the grunge when grunge got popular. Very, very cool band. They started like late 80s. Jamie Rowe came over from Tempest. Took over vocals for Fire and Love? Fire and Love, I believe. Excellent album. If you've never heard it, go check it out. Great hard rock to heavy metal album, depending on how you view that kind of music. Then we also got Flyleaf, Memento Mori, which I want to say this is their second album. I do have this album, but for $1 I picked it up. Got a nice little advertisement in there. There's my landlord as I'm doing a video. How's it going? Good, good. Awesome. Oh, sorry about that. My landlord just walked by, and of course my dog's got a bark at him. So that is what it is. They're going crazy. So they're probably not going to shut up, so I'm just going to keep going. Like I said, he's not blown away. So next up we have one that I never seem to find their CDs, but we have Chevelle Point One. Chevelle's another band that they dropped a Christian title a long time ago. Why don't you guys settle down? Show off my puppy. There's one of my pups. She's only about 3 months old, 3.5 months old maybe now. This is Miss Violet. One's inside because she never shuts up, and the other 3 are barking at him, so he's gone. You guys can be quiet now. I do apologize. Then we also got Whiteheart, The Early Years. So this is just a compilation CD, which my brother is like a huge Whiteheart fan. I bet you he doesn't have this CD. Maybe he does, if he watches it. But very, very cool. I do like Whiteheart. I shared a room with my brother when I was a kid. He's like 8 years older than me. So I heard a lot of Whiteheart when I was a kid, and Petra, and of course I progressed onto the heavier death metal and thrash and hardcore and all that. But anyways, next up we have PFR, which stands for Pray for Rain, Disappear. Kind of like a alternative rock band, I guess you could say. Which my wife, way back when we first started dating, was a big PFR fan. I don't think she listens to them anymore, but she was back then. But as a CD I didn't have, so it's kind of cool to get it. And then we also got a CD I know I've had before, but I didn't have now. And this is a like compilation CD by Star Song Records, or Star Song, I guess you could just say. This is Never Say Dinosaur, featuring Jars of Clay, Audio Adrenaline, Kevin Smith from Pacifist, Plank Eye, MXPX, Galactic Cowboys, Sixpence None the Richer, Sarah John, the Walter Eugenes, Grandma Train, The Stand, and Capril Champion, My Sister's Garden, which I don't even know that band. But some of these bands aren't even Christian bands anymore, like MXPX. If you've never heard MXPX, they're kind of like a better version of Green Day, in my opinion. If you like Green Day, they're a way better version. And they're still putting out albums today. Not a Christian band anymore, but definitely go check them out if you like them. And next up, these are some CDs I got off Brent's Christian Rock, and I think it's Brent's Christian Rock, whatever. He's got an online site, and he sends out like newsletters once you start buying off him and stuff like that. But he sells new CDs, used CDs, I mean any kind of merch, stickers, magazines that are all Christian bands. And I can't remember if I showed these in the video or not, They're still in the stack. And I want to say I had more from them, but maybe I didn't. But first up we have the W's, fourth from the last. This is from the 90s. They were a swing band. Go figure that. You know, like the 90s, like everything got popular. Ska got popular, swing got popular. So I remember I liked one of their songs, which I don't even think's on this album. But, you know, it's cool. I did spin it. It was an okay album. It's nothing I get excited about. Next up we have AWAS, which is AWAS, and their album Hope. And this is another one I haven't opened. Hopefully I didn't order a second copy of this or something like that, because I want to say I just ordered this, and it's like, man, I'm like slacking on my music listened to, which they are, I want to say like a German death metal band or something like that. Something along those lines. Heavy metal. It's either thrash or death metal. It's up there. And then we also got a couple Mortification albums. We got Relentless. Never heard of Mortification. They started off as like originally they were Light Force, and they were like a heavy metal band in the 80s, and then they changed up to pure death metal, and then people left the band. Steve Rowe went through cancer and all that stuff, and he just changed his styles over the years. But for the most part, most of Mortification is death metal with, you know, some classical metal, some hardcore metal, a little bit of everything in there. But I still love Mortification. And we also got the Evil Addiction Destroying Machine. Of course, you can see Steve right there in the middle. Which, when did this album come out? 2009. So he got cancer in like 96. So he wasn't given, he was given like a, I don't know, real slim chance of living, and he lived. He's still alive today. But I believe he's like a paraplegic now, but he's still, I think he's still playing his one band. But anyways, then we also got, I have no idea how you say their name. It's either Pantocrator or Pantocrator. I'm going to say Pantocrator because I have no idea. I'm sure somebody will watch this and be like, hey, you're saying that wrong, but this is Marching Out of Babylon. And they are from somewhere like Sweden, up in that area. Pure death metal. I don't know, I don't remember the exact country. I used to memorize all this stuff back in the day, but now I'm 50, I forget. I listen to so many bands, I forget half of, you know, this stuff, so it's just like, it is what it is. And then we also got Children 18-3, Rains of Coming, which is kind of like punk rock. Played this in the CD in the car for a couple days, and my wife, I went like 3 times through the CD on a trip, and my wife and daughter was like, you know, that was okay the first time, but I'm getting kind of sick of it. So, I enjoyed it. It was fun. Then we also got Demon Hunter, There Was a Light Here. Demon Hunter seems to be one of the most popular bands out there. I think a lot of people know Demon Hunter. You know, usually first question that gets asked in like a Christian metal group, hey, I want to listen to some, you know, like shock rock, or I want to listen to like a death metal band. Who ought I listen to? And everybody's like, Demon Hunter. You know, it's like, well, they're not really that style of music. That's more like a new metal. It's just metal, new metal, whatever you want to call it. But that is a very, very good album too. Then we got a couple more thrift store scores I paid $1 for, which I already have these albums. I picked them up in case my nephew wanted them. She was just here for Bonfire yesterday. I didn't even ask him. But we have Relient K Apathetic EP. Very, very good punk rock band. I consider him punk rock. I don't know. They're rock, whatever you want to call them. I consider them punk, more of a punk sound. Then we also got 12 Stones Potter's Field. It's more like a new metal, rapcore, whatever you want to call it, band. Which they've come out recently. They always played like Christian festivals and stuff like that. They came out and said, well, we were never a Christian band. It's like, well, you always played with a Christian band, so, you know, you went to Christian festivals and stuff like that. At least I think they did. Don't quote me on that. They might not have gone to Christian festivals, but, you know. And then we also got Poor Old Lou in Straight Six. And I couldn't remember what Poor Old Lou sounded like when I saw this, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to buy it. This is just like a little EP off, I don't remember what label this is off. I don't know, I can't even read it anyways. Yeah. But I bought it anyways for a couple bucks, and I was like, well, I can't remember what they sound like. Let's give them a spin. And yeah, it's like alt rock, and it's like, I don't know, it's not my cup of tea. If you like it, hey, that's awesome. More power to you. Yeah, don't knock my phone over, please. Yeah. And right there is give me that, man. I guess I should have put the dogs inside. The Prime driver here dropping stuff off. I didn't even know we had stuff coming. Okay, guys. Guess I should have just put you guys all inside. Yeah. Okay, guys. Come on. I do apologize once again for that. Like I said, I do have a computer now. I can go edit all this out, but I have no idea how to do that. So what you see is what you get. Then another thrift store. This was a Goodwill store. We have the Juliana Theory. Their album Love. Very, very cool band. I want to say one of my favorite songs on here. I don't know, what song was it? Trance. Trance is a very, very good song. Absolutely love that song. So if you get a chance, if you don't know who the Juliana Theory is, look up their song Trance. T-R-A-N-C-E? S-E? C-E. The Juliana Theory. Which I believe this was like Brett Guitar from like Zayo back in the day, I think. Don't quote me on that. My memory's shot as it is. Then we also got Michael Sweet's The Master Plan. If you don't know Michael Sweet, he is from lead vocalist from Stryper. I think everybody should know who Stryper is. If you don't know, you know, probably one of the most popular like Christian hair metal bands ever. And then we also got Stryper's The Greatest Gift of All, which I haven't opened this yet. I knew I haven't opened this yet. This is actually a Christmas album, and I was kind of going to wait till Christmas to spin this one. I got this probably in April. I finally ordered it, so you know I don't mind waiting for that for Christmas. Now on to some more CDs, which these ones here, I can't remember if they came from Rox Records or not. They either came from Rox or they came from Boone's Overstock. But we got a couple Saint albums. We got Saint Heaven Fell, which they're just a pure metal band. A lot of people compared especially their second album, Time's End, to like Judas Priest back in the 80s. So yeah, they have been around for quite a while. This one's got a busted case, unfortunately. We also got Saint Broad as the Gate. I've only got about 4 or 5 Saint albums, and they've probably got like, I don't know, 20 some albums. I don't know. They've been playing since '84, maybe. I mean, they took a hiatus there for a while, and I think kind of reformed a little bit and came back. I don't know all the details, but cool band either way. And I think this next box is all. I got a lot of CDs, so this is gonna be a long video. But this next box, I believe, all came from Boone's Overstock, as he was having like a $5 blowout sale. Some of them I think were cheaper than $5, but I can't honestly remember. Dr. Topper. Well, we're going to try to go through these a little fast. We got Paramecium Within the Ancient Forest. This is a remastered version, which they were more like a doom death metal band. That album wasn't. It was a little bit lighter in my opinion, but I think their first album, and I guess it was their second album. The vocalist did a book on it too. I think I like their first and third album the best, if I remember right. I know I love their first album. Their third album I don't have on CD, so that's one I gotta pick up. And then next we have Angelica Without Words, which they were just a rock metal band from the 80s. Of course, I didn't realize when I ordered this, Without Words means it was just an instrumental CD, which I'm guessing they probably had lyrics with it, but that was just instrumental. I don't know, but it is what it is. Then we also got Daniel Band on Rock. Daniel Band is one of the early Christian like metal bands back from the 80s. They also went by, I think they went Daniel Amos or DA, which my brother listened to them. I didn't. And these are the first CDs I've ever had of them. I think I got a couple in here maybe. Either that or I just got the one. And I was like, dang, this is good music. Why didn't I listen to it back in the day? I was stupid when I was a kid. But, you know, it is what it is. Next up, we have Royal Anguish, A Journey Through the Shadows of Time. Which, I don't know if this band even was a Christian band at this time anymore. They were like death metal, if I remember right. And I did spin that CD, it's just been a while. And next up, we have Modest Attraction, The Truth in Your Face. Which I believe, I want to say the vocalist from this band, yeah, Christian Lilligren, he was in Narnia. So very, very popular band. Narnia is a very, very popular band. They were from like, I don't know, Sweden or Finland or somewhere over there. I honestly don't know and I don't remember, so forgive me for that. But I was actually very surprised at Modest Attraction. They had like a CD back in the 90s and I never gave them a chance. And now they got a bunch of albums, which I might have them all in here. Maybe, or a few of them. But I was actually very, very surprised at how much I really liked their music. So that was very, very cool. Next up, we have Bride, Eyes Wide Open. This is just a little 6-song EP from the forthcoming album, Are You Awake? Some exclusive EP tracks. So that's very, very cool. Bride's been around since the 80s. Never heard of them. They were like a heavy metal band back in the 80s. Kind of changed with the times like a lot of bands and changed it up. Now they're back to a metal band. They're back together. Gail Thompson can still belt them freaking vocals out. Amazing vocalist. Next up, we got a little rap here. We got Gospel Gangstas, Gang Affiliated. I remember spinning the crap out of this back in like 94 or 95. My mom didn't really care for it too much because, you know, these guys, you know, just gangster rap was popular, so they just wrote about their, you know, old lives and how they came to Christ and stuff like that. And I do remember MTV covering them, you know, saying, hey, you know, kids were coming home from the streets, you know, leaving gangs and going back home. So, hey, you know, they did their job. They're, you know, reaching out to kids. So, you know, them guys like praise and worship God right on stage from what I understand. I've never seen them live, but very, very cool either way. Like I said, I might have showed some of these in a previous video. If I did, you're just going to see them again. And this is probably one of my favorite hip-hop albums ever. This is SFC Phase 3. My man Chris Cooper. Soup the Chemist. Super C. Absolutely love SFC. Stood for Soldiers for Christ. This is probably my favorite, and I'm dead serious, my favorite hip-hop album ever. I probably spun that, well, I won't say the CD, but I had the cassette tape way back in the day, and I probably played that 300-400 times through at least, easily. And then I got the CD, and then I spun the CD 300-400 times probably. I wouldn't surprise me if I didn't. Then we also got SFC, A Saved Man in the Jungle, which I had never heard. I think this was his album before Phase 3. I had never heard it before until I got this. Very, very good album too. I am a big SFC fan. Like I said, you know, later on in his career, you know, SFC was done. He did like some solo stuff, you know, like Sup the Chemist and stuff like that. Very, very cool stuff all the way around. Next up, actually this one I think came from Brent's Christian Rock and Metal, which I showed some CDs. I think I ordered this off him, but this is Believer, Gabriel. I know it's very, very hard to see that cover, which I don't believe Believer considers himself a Christian band anymore. I mean, I don't know for sure, but you know, back in the day they were considered right in there with the Christian thrash bands and stuff like that, which like their first album, a lot of people like their second album, Sanity Obscure, but I always thought their first album, Extraction from Mortality, and their third album, which is Dimensions, which is right here, were their best albums. Absolutely love Extraction from Mortality, and I love Dimensions. This is a reissue of that. Just to find the original copies of these CDs, you're going to spend like $30 or whatever. So I kind of go with a cheaper version, you know, like reissues and stuff like that. So get on to the next stack here. Boy, this is going to be a long video. And next up, we got a band I had never listened to before until I ordered it. This is Paradox, Power and Glory, which I believe originally these were just like cassette tapes, I want to say. So these are just all remastered. Very, very cool band. I was definitely doing it. It's just like hard rock and metal from the 80s. Very, very cool. Then we also got another Modest Attraction, Get Ready. Christian Lilligren from Narnia. I'm going to have to speed this up because it's going to be like an hour-long video. Then we also got Monstrous, Zealots in the Land of Nod. Which I want to say this was like new metal. Maybe. New metal. Somewhere along those lines. I can't remember off the top of my head. Some of these bands I listened to, I spun them once and I haven't spun them since then. So forgive me if I say the wrong genre they are. We also got Mainline Riders. This is World Shaker. I want to say this was like a rock metal band. Hard rock band. Next up we got Titanic, Full Steam Ahead. Which this might be the one with Robert Sweet, maybe? Was Robert Sweet in this? This band started when, no, he wasn't in this one. This has got David White. But when this band first started, like Robert Sweet came over from Stryper, when Stryper was kind of broke up at the time. And he played drums on, I believe it was the first Titanic album, so. Next up we got One Bad Pig, a Christian band, which I believe this was their demo. If you've never heard One Bad Pig, they were like a Christian punk band back in the 80s. I think they're still somewhat around today. Very, very cool band either way. I absolutely love One Bad Pig. If you like punk rock, go check them out. And next up we got Mad at the World. Flowers in the Rain. Which I wasn't a big fan of this album. It's the first time I ever listened to Mad at the World. And they've probably got 3 or 4 albums, which I want to... If I don't have them all, which I don't think I do want to get them all eventually. As the one... It was like the Rose family. And I like Randy Rose's stuff. But I just struggle with Mad at the World stuff. But Randy Rose came out of Mad at the World. His first couple albums were very like reminiscent of like Danzig, if you like Danzig. And then after that, he kind of changed his style up. Went, you know, I don't even know what he considers his style. I still enjoy the music, but like I said, Mad at the World is not a band I'm super excited about. I just couldn't get into that album. Maybe I need to spin it again. Next up, we got another Paradox. Another just great album. This was like great rock, heavy metal back in the 80s. Never got signed back then, I don't think. But next up, we have Ransom. Another hard rock and metal band from, I want to say this was 90s. But this was female fronted. I remember I had the cassette tapes back in the day. You can see the vocalist right there in the middle. I remember I had the cassette tape and I didn't like it back when I was in high school. I mean, I was freshly saved at 1992 and I was in like 10th grade. And I couldn't get into that. I bought the cassette tape. I think you used it. Like all the Christian bookstores had like demo cassettes you could listen to see if you wanted to buy the CD or not. But every once in a while they'd clear them out. They always clipped the corner and they'd sell the tapes for like $2 or something like that. And me and my brother always went through them and picked up cheap cassette tapes. So, anyways, I'm dragging this video out longer, and I still got a couple packages to go. Next up, hopefully I still got my knife on me. I do, right there. Next up, we got Prodigal, Just Like Real Life. This is the first I had ever listened to Prodigal, and I honestly don't remember what they sound like. I know I spun this CD at least once, so I can't tell you what they sound like because it's been a while. I spun most of these right when I first got them, but I need to give them some more listens again. Some of them I spun quite a few times because I really liked them, especially like, you know, this is another Modest Attraction album, which this is Divine Luxury. So there's 3 Modest Attraction. Sorry they're all out of order here, but I spun their CDs for probably like 4 or 5 days in the car. Because it was that good. Next up we got Valor Masquerade. Which this was another, I believe, Christian metal band back in the 80s that didn't make it. Never got signed. You know, the reissues. Very, very cool. I do believe I like that album. Let's see. Found these are all digipacks. So we got Bride Zarbamba, which I want to say I didn't really care for this album too much. But, you know, I am a collector, so I like to have them into the collection. And then we also got Bride Into the Matrix, which I want to say when Bride first started, they were called Matrix. This was back in like 80, 182 maybe, I don't know. Way back in the day, before I got into Christian metal. And we'll try to put some of these in order here. Get those ones in order. Next up we got Striking the Early Years, which they were a metal band in like the early 80s, I believe. I want to say I read something about, maybe it's an interview on here or something like that, but it's like, I want to, yeah, maybe it says right here. There's like a whole thing from Doug Van Pelt, who ran Heaven's Metal magazine. But I want to say I read something about where Stryper sent them a cease and desist because their name Striking was very similar to Stryper, even though they were around before Stryper. It's just, but I don't know. I don't remember all the details on that. But that was a cool album, anyways. And then we also got from Savior Machine, we got Rarities Revelations 1, 2, 3, and 4, which they were kind of like a goth band. I guess you could say goth metal. You know, I'm not the biggest like Savior Machine fan. I do like a lot of their songs, but let's try to show that better. And there's number 4, which I will say probably their very first. I think it's their first album, self-titled album, was my favorite album. Like the song "Killers." "Killers" is their best song ever, in my opinion, but it's mostly because I love the guitar all throughout that whole song. So. And then we'll show this off. I don't know, these might not be as popular, but I got these at Goodwill. 50 cents each. So I got the Newsboys Live One Night in Pennsylvania, which is back when Peter Furler was in the band. This is a VHS tape. So you can see Newsboys Live. Which this would have been filmed before all the controversy now with the last vocalist they had, Michael Tate, who was from DC Talk, with all the stuff about, you know, his sexual abuse and stuff like that. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that. But you know, so Newsboys, they can't even catch a gig now, even if nobody wants to have them there. But we also got the DC Talk video collection, which has Welcome to the Freak Show, Narrow is the Road, and video singles. So this is a 3-pack. It's still only 50 cents. Which I remember that was a CD too. It's like a live CD. Narrow is the Road. And if you don't know DC Talk, they were like a hip-hop band that turned into like a Nirvana band, basically, back in the 90s. And then, you know, like they broke up, and like Toby Mac, you know, if you don't know Toby Mac, well, he's a very, very popular hip-hop artist in the Christian music scene, so. But anyways, and the last thing I got is I got 4 packages. This is going to be a long video, so I got 4 packages here we're just going to open. This first one is from, I think it's Refiner, which I think he runs a Facebook group called For the Rock, I think. I think this is that dude. I think this is his band. I think his name's Chris. I think it's Refiner. Which he posted that he made 25 copies of this. So I was like, yeah, I'll order it, and good grief, I didn't realize he was from like, it was coming from England, or he's from England maybe, or, you know, UK, whatever. But gosh, the shipping was just as much as the CD was. But, you know, I think he said there was 25 of these made. It is a digipack, but that's okay. Like I said, you know, very, very cool. Definitely on my 2-spin list. And let's see here, we got one from Manifest Records, which this is going to be Diamonds to Dust, I believe. So we got Echoes of Grace and Strife by Diamonds to Dust. This is just pure deathcore. Maybe a touch of metalcore, I don't know. I call it deathcore. Very, very cool band. Now, this is a current band, so definitely a cool album. Can't wait to spin that in the car. Next one's the new one from the young dudes in Unbroken Rain. This is their second album. So they're not even signed yet, I don't believe. But, you know, and these guys, I love these guys because they believe in jewel cases. But this is the Sins We Keep Alive by Unbroken Rain. Amazing metalcore band, young band, current band. Like I said, this is their second album. This just came out this year, I believe. So can't wait to spin that. And then I got another box from Brent's Christian Rock and Metal. If you buy off him, usually he does a clearance sale right around April. He'll mail it out, and you can get some of his stuff a little bit cheaper. And you know, he's got like a flat rate of like $4.50 shipping. You can pay good. You could send him a check if you wanted to, money order, PayPal. PayPal though, he charges you a little bit more because of the PayPal fees. But we're gonna see what we got. I don't even remember. He's a super cool dude. Like I said, you could just look at it right up. Just go to Google and look up Brent's Christian Rock and Metal or whatever. But you know, he just writes you a little note saying, "Hey, I got your money order." I pay by money order anymore because it's just cheaper. You know, I'm in no hurry to get the stuff. Like I said, I got stuff I haven't listened to yet, so that's how far behind I am. We did get some cassette tapes too, so which I do believe I have both. The first two CDs, I have these on CD, but we have Crash Dog, Pursuit of Happiness, Fun Punk Rock off Gurr Records. Still sealed, I think. Oh no, that one's open. Okay, just the back one's still sealed. Felt like it's still sealed, but it's not. Then we also got Mud Angels, which I don't think this is one of their better albums. But Pursuit of Happiness was a very, very cool album. If you like, you know, like late 80s, early 90s, like, you know, just fun punk rock. If you're into punk rock. Then we also got Live Bootleg 82, which is Daniel Amos, or the Daniel Band, which I just showed a CD. We got a cassette tape now. So now I got a CD and I got a cassette tape by him. So very, very cool. And we got a stack of CDs, and this will be all I've got in this video, and I'm at 47 minutes, so we're going to make this kind of somewhat fast, I think. Maybe. Try to see if these are in any order here. I don't even remember what all I ordered. Okay. So first up we got Craig, Decay's Beholder. I can't remember what Craig sounds like. I want to say they're like death metal, but don't quote me on it. Sorry about any glare you're getting. Very, very cool, which this might be an import. Look at that artwork on the CD. Very, very cool. You just don't see bands do enough of this anymore. Just to say where they're from. From South America, maybe. Very, very cool either way. Then we also got The Lead Again, which The Lead was a punk rock band from the 80s. Had Nina Lopez on vocals. Julio Ray, who was also in like Frank's Enemy in the 90s, which was like a Christian death metal band. Next up we got, some of these are still sealed, so Liberty and Justice with J.K. Northrup, The Cigar Chronicles. And I honestly do not remember what Liberty and Justice sounds like. I don't think I've ever listened to them. But you know, a lot of times I just find the CDs on there and it's like, hey, you know what, let's give it a listen, you know, let's just buy it, add it to the collection. So I don't have a problem with that. Next up we have Gretchen in the Meantime, which maybe like new metal, I don't know, female fronted. Very cool. Next up we got a little hip hop off what's Toby's label called? I remember what his label's called. Yeah, I can't read it. Gosh, I need glasses. But this is Grits. So we got The Art of Translation. If you like hip hop, go check them out. Very, very cool hip hop band. They got quite a few albums too. Then we also got Dichotomy A from Grits, which I was just spinning them in the vehicle yesterday. I was spinning their best of double disc CD for the wife yesterday. So, oh, we got 3 of them actually. We got Dichotomy B too. I didn't realize I had 3 of them in here. So that is very, very cool. I think I have most of their albums now with those. So very, very close. Next up we got Cynical Limit. I do not remember what sound they are, but very, very cool. Knowing me, it's probably, you know, metal thrash, rock, something, you know, somewhere in the heavier range, anywhere from rock to death metal. But I doubt that's death metal. That's probably more rock, I'm guessing. But I can't remember. Then next up we have Heaven's Metal issue 75, I believe this is. So now I can take that out of the sleeve. So if you don't know, Heaven's Metal, which eventually became HM magazine for hard music, I think. I like Heaven's Metal better. Better, if I can talk right. I'm getting winded here. Long video. But there for a while they were giving a free CD out and just sampling like 15 bands or whatever, you know, newer stuff coming out, not older stuff. Is pretty much just all newer stuff that was coming out. So you'd always get, you know, the sampler CDs with the magazines, which I'm trying to get all the CDs. A lot of times, you know, the CDs are, the magazine was open, so the CD wasn't part of it. So I have most of the, I don't want to say most, but I have a chunk of the Heaven's Metal and HM magazines, but I don't have all the CDs, so I am trying to get all of them. And some of them I'm not sure if I have them or not. I need to pull them out and really catalog all this stuff. I have most of the catalog, but we also got another one. This was part of HM. I said it was hard music. It was one time it was Heaven's Metal. Like I said, they just put out a little CD. You know, if I can show this right, I'll try not to crop it. Which this had, you know, 21 songs on it. I mean, you get a free CD with your subscription back in the day, which you don't see much of that stuff anymore. Next up, we have Sympathy, Anagogic Tyranny, which I don't even know what style of music they are off the top of my head. It looks, excuse me, very, very dark and creepy. So I'm guessing they're probably more death or doom metal, maybe somewhere along those lines. I know I've listened to Sympathy. I think I have one of their albums. I think they have a couple albums. I could be wrong. I could just be way off the rockers here. Who knows? But anyways, on to the last 3 CDs, and this is it for this long video. This is a band I have never heard. They are all the same band here. We have Manticore, and I don't remember where they are from. I want to say these were all imports, but don't quote me on that. But we have Roots of Eternity, and sorry about the glare. I do not remember what style of music they are. The logo is freaking awesome looking, the way that M is. That is very, very cool. And we also got Darkness with Tales to Tell. Sorry about any glare. I'll show off a little inside there. And we have 8 Deadly Sins, which I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it says where they're from. Which, yeah, I can't read that. I need glasses pretty bad. Anyways, but that's it. You know, for this haul, you know, I'm finally caught up, I think, on all my Christian related like CDs and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm getting buzzed by little gnats here. It's hot out here actually. I'm like sweating. But that's all I got. You know, hopefully there's some bands in here. If you know haven't listened to like Christian bands, some of you guys, you know, if you watch this will give you some bands to go check out. I won't say I highly recommend every band in here because some of the CDs I haven't listened to, but the majority of it, I'll tell you straight up, go check them out. You never know, you might like it, you might dig it. But that's all I got. I hope you guys liked what you saw. You know, like, comment, subscribe. It's all cool. It's all good. Thanks for watching.